Good evening, good evening, and welcome to another adventure with us in our Meet the Author. I am your host for this evening, Walter Bridell, and tonight we have a very special guest with us. We will have Miss Tina Thompson. She is the author of the book, The Lovable Lion and the Mystery of the Golden Charm. And we are super excited to have her with us. How are you doing today, Miss Thompson?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, we are truly happy that you were able to share your book with us, so that we can let all of our viewers remember that reading is fun. So let's um, let's get right into our Meet the Author segment tonight. So again, we're going to be talking about your book, The Lovable Lions, and the Mystery of the Golden Charm. Now, this was written and illustrated by you and your daughter, correct?
Yes, yes, it was.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. That is awesome. It must be really awesome that you got to collaborate and work with your daughter on this, and that y'all got to create a legacy together. So, how was it? Um, how did you become an author, Miss Thompson? Was it something you
well,
always wanted to do, or?
yes. I started writing at 6 years old, and I got old and finally published a book. But I've been writing a long time. I love to write. I like to make up stories and make people laugh. It's God always gives me creative ideas, and I love children. I've been working with children for 40 years. So I started working with children in my senior year in high school. And I've been working with them so long in the public school system. And I'd like to tell them about my stories. And that kind of boosted me up a little bit to go ahead and finally publish my book. So,
That's
and I
awesome.
just love it.
Well, you tell it on yourself if you just told us how long you've been in the school system, and
Yeah, yeah, long
that's
time.
good.
Yes,
That,
long
that just
time.
means to be able to layer on some of that good wisdom that you've gotten over the years. So you said you're in the school system. Are you a school teacher or?
I'm a instructional assistant, and but basically we teach as well. So,
Yes, ma'am.
and I have a group that I work with that I pull off to the side and I work with. And like I said, it just inspired me to finally publish my book. So,
So you keep saying it inspired me to publish which leads me to believe that you are self-published, correct?
yes, I am.
Um,
Yes.
because we do have hopefully some aspiring authors who want to get into the writing and or publishing their book. Um, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, and a little bit more if you can, and just let us know how hard was it for you to get into publishing your own book.
Well, um, it was it was challenging to find the right person to actually want to work with you and want to be honest with you. I talked to one company in New York, and the company just kept stringing me on. So finally, one day, I just looked up self publishers and I found Xebras. I called them and I got started from there. So, but at first, it was like a little challenge because a lot of people, when you say, I want to publish a book, I have a manuscript. Some people jump on it. Some people are like, eh. Some people like authors that are, what would you say, have been in the business a while and that are, you know, like Stephen King, all those people. A lot of people, when you're new, they're kind of like they get scared, like okay. So that's how I found Xebras. And I would
Okay.
one day like to be able to copy my own books and just publish them without having a self-publishing company. Because basically, when you self-publish, you do a lot of the work yourself. They look at it, they send it back to you. You make your own corrections. You don't have anybody that's actually looking through it and correcting it for you. You have to actually read it, correct it yourself. Basically, you're doing all the work. And I'm thinking if I can just get started where I don't need anybody but myself, unless I run into a really good company.
Mm-hmm. So with that, I know that had to have been frustrating at times. I can only
Yes,
imagine what it was when you have this, which we'll call your baby, this your labor of love that you were working for, and that you thought. I know as you were writing, you were like, "Oh, I like that, and I like this," and then I know when you gave it to the publishers out there, before God led you to Zebras, I know it was kind of frustrating and probably a little off-putting. So,
yes, it
you
was.
know, what made you, other than just your love for trying to share literacy with, what was your drive? Was it just you just wanted to get your book out there?
Well, I wanted to get my book out. I knew that God gave me uh this he gave me writing as a talent, something that he wants me to do. He wants me to inspire people, inspire kids, keep people happy and laughing. And so it just kept me going. I didn't give up at times. I'd get that feeling like, oh, but then I would say, no, I got to keep going. So a lot of it was the Lord. The Lord really pushed me. He whispered in my ear, so he's always talking to me. So I give praises to him. It all goes to him because he's the one that got me started at 6 years old. He's the one that during my years kept pressing on me. You got to get a book out there. You got to stop in the middle. You got to go ahead and just do this. And then one day I finally did it. Well, one day I allowed him to do it through me by getting published.
Okay, and he gave you as they say, that ram in the bush,
Yes.
your own illustrator,
Yes.
talking with other authors and doing this as we're learning some of the process that it takes for you guys to do this. We're learning, and one thing that we've noticed is a continuing factor is that most of the authors have difficulty trying to find a publisher, excuse me, an illustrator who can do what they want and how they want it. So, did you have any problems with your illustrator, or
Not at
was your
all.
illustrator ready to do as you wanted, or did she have her own ideas?
Well, she was ready to do as I wanted, and of course, my illustrator is my daughter. And I basically, when I wrote everything out as I was writing, and when everything was written out, she said, "Okay, I'm going to think about how I'm going to draw the characters." And she said, God told her how to draw each character, what characters should be who, what animal, because my books are about animals who are
Mm-hmm.
personified. And she was the one that said, the Lord told me how to draw them, what to use. And it was perfect. It came out perfect. Perfect.
Yes, it is about, your book is about animals, and that is a perfect segue to go on into our next portion about the book, which is the reason why we are here, so that we can learn what happens in the lovable lion and the um, mystery charm. So one thing, like you said, it's all animals, lions and tigers and hyenas
Yes.
and bears. Oh my! But
Yes.
did you was animals just because it was just, or was it your love for animals? What made you to use the animal personification instead of just um people?
Well, God laid it on my heart about lions. It was just about lions, and then I got the idea about the hyena. Well, the name of the hyena from my husband. And just like I said, my daughter, we love animals. We have two cats, two outdoor cats. We always have cats. And so growing up, I had cats. We had a dog. So we do love animals here. I love them a lot. But it was just like the Lord just laid on my heart about lions, and we all know about the lions in the Bible and the lions. So I think, a lot of that had to do something with, a lot of it was basically, not a lot, it's God. All of it I owe to God. All the praises go to God. He wrote the book. He told me what to write, and I just wrote the words down.
Well,
He's really the author. So he used me.
Christina, I like the way you talk. I do. So, what you're telling me basically is that this book was a book by divine intervention. Um, maybe you'll get just as many copies sold as his other book that was written by divine intervention. Um, and and maybe it'll just go to many different places. But
Yes.
back to the book. I love how you went to another realm, another place, somewhere outside of where we are on a daily basis. To me, that's one of the best things about books is that when I get to sit down with a book, I don't have to worry about bills. I don't have to worry about nothing. All I have to do is just take the journey and see where the book will take me. So that's one of my like, if it goes somewhere other than here and now, I think where I can let my imagination run and just be free to enjoy what it was that the author had me to had for us to get out of the book. That's one of my favorite things. So La La Land. Yes, right? Everybody has been to La La Land. Even if it was not your La La Land, we have all been there and we have all wanted to go back. So
Yes.
this one, in order to get to La La Land, you had to come up. They were. So just a quick for those who others didn't read it. The book is about two friends, um, Agnes and Leona,
Yes.
and they are building a playhouse or a clubhouse.
Yes.
And
Yes.
while taking care of the clubhouse, they find the magic charm, which then takes them
Yes.
to a faraway land where they get to meet different people. And one thing that I loved about La La Land is in La La Land, everybody knows everything.
Yes.
Everybody knows everything. So that's like, and not only did they know everything, but everything was free.
Yes.
Everything was free in La La Land. So was this supposed to be a what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word now, a foreshadowing, or was La La Land, is it just some place, or was it inspired? Thank you. Thank you. Was La La Land inspired by um ideals, or how did we come up with La La Land?
Well, I'm always walking around the house talking about imaginary people. Let me just tell it on myself. So I've got my imaginary people, and my family just cracks up. My friends crack up. They're like, "You are out there." So La La Land, it just popped in my brain, and I know it came from God because, in a sense, it kind of sounds like heaven. Everybody knows everybody. Everything's free from what you hear about heaven, and I'm sure that is true. And so that came from God. I know that did, about everything being free, everybody knowing everybody, all the fun they have, everybody's happy. So that came from God, and then Him putting in my brain this imagination. He just
Mm-hmm.
gave me a far out imagination. It is far out there, and I'm sure as you read the book, you went, "Wow, this
Yeah,
author
I was.
is off the chart."
She was. Well, so off the chart, on the chart, however you would. It was perfect. Like I said, one of the things about reading is going to a magical place, and you took us there. And not only did you take us there, but I like your book. It's wholesome. Um, now that you've we're talking and I understand your relationship with God and how he led you to write this book, as I'm reading and I'm thinking about what I read in the book, I can see it. I can see how the family is a close knit family who wants to do for each other. And when one of the family, like not trying to give all of the book away because we want them to read your book, but
Okay.
was it Agnes? Agnes was
Yes.
sick. Agnes was sick, and she wasn't feeling well. She had ate too much candy and free stuff, and La La Land is what happened. But she was at the dinner table, and all of her family was compassionate and concerned. All of them wanted to make sure she was okay, and I like that. As family members, we have got to remember that we've got to reach out to each other and to show a little bit of compassion and show a little bit of love. So I do like
Yes.
that. I love that about the book. I did. I thought that the way that they were just a family, and in today's time, family is not what it used to be. You
No,
know,
it's not.
um,
It's
it's
sad. It's so
it,
sad.
it's life. And so this reminds us that even though they were a family where we can still be there for each other. But while we're talking about
Yes.
family, burger bits.
My mother used to call me Burger Bits. That's where they came from. My mother,
Burger bits.
Burger
Yeah.
Bits. Yes.
Okay. See, if I'm not burger bits, what?
My
Okay.
mother.
So that's great. That's good. So she's still with you, and I
Yes.
see the dedication. So how did she, other than giving you burger bits, how did she inspire you? Because you mentioned that you wanted to do this since you were 6. So, um,
Yes.
how did your mother inspire you and help you to pursue your dreams, to become the author that you are, Miss Tina?
Well, she told me, don't waste your talent. She would tell me you're good. I would write stories, and when I would go to school, and she came in to clean my room, she would read my stories. And one day I came home from school, and she was frowned up, and I was like, "What's wrong, Mom?" She said, "I was reading your stories. The story was good, and just when it was getting really good, you cut it off." And I went, okay, that's the kind of stories I like to write. Cliffhangers, like Alfred Hitchcock. He's one of my favorites. He's my idol. I love Alfred Hitchcock because he'll just, you know, cut everything off right when it's getting good.
And you like,
He'll make you think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. So, who else in your family? Well, we know you got was it Jinky? We know
Janky,
you got
my
we know
husband.
you got Jinky from your husband.
Yes.
Is he one of those silent supporters, or is he there with you in the late night hour, highlighting and making sure all your commas and periods are in the right spot?
He's one of the quiet ones, but Jakey came from him. And see, when he was a small child, he would have one hand and say his name is Jinky, the other's Jerry. And you know how kids go get their hair cut. And I remember him telling me, I'd tell Jinky, that he's got to get his hair cut. And he'd go to the barber and they'd go, cut me off ball. And you know how little kids hear adults saying, cut it off ball, cut it off, cut it close. So I remember him saying that, and that inspired me with Jinky and Jerry.
Jinky and Jerry. So this
Jinky
was
and Jerry, they're supposed to be twins, they're brothers. One is a good brother, and one is, of
one is
course, you
not.
read, Jinky
Yeah,
is not so good. No.
no, no. Jinky was mischievous, I guess we'll say. He
Very,
wasn't
very,
he wasn't
oh, very.
he wasn't very nice to Agnes and Leon.
No.
But you know that but that happens, and you teach us how to deal with that as well. So in your book, it's teaching moments in the book as well, and that's always
Yes.
good. So how can we find your books? Miss Tina? What's the best way for us to tell our audience how they can find out how to get to La La Land? Excuse me.
They can get on Amazon.com, Exibris.com, and BarnesandNoble.com.
All right, and we put that on the bottom. Barnes and Noble, Exibras, and Amazon.com. So
Yes,
just trying to make sure we touch everything. Um, so you said your daughter was the illustrator. I see
yes,
because as we were reading, she also edited the book. Um,
yes,
so we know that you enjoyed working with her, and
yes,
as a parent, I can only imagine the joy, the pride that you have, because when you look at this book, I know it's your words, but you were able to help your daughter to be recognized, and I know that has to be a monumental thing for you. So if you don't mind, just parent to
yes.
parent, how excited are you that everybody who sees this gets to see your daughter's creation?
Very excited. Very excited. She's an excellent, excellent illustrator. They take after their father because I draw stick people. So you didn't want my people in the book. You want you would see stick lines, stick hyenas. I mean, you'd be like, what? The 2-year-olds draw better than that. So
I'm not an
they just
artist
take a
either.
pencil and scribble. So I had to ask her, would you please? And she was like, yes, I'd love to. And she's excellent at it. She takes after her dad. My son is also excellent. They can draw anything. My husband can take someone's face and make it look like a cartoon with little skinny legs and funny little faces, and so they're all excellent. I'm the one that cannot draw. They're the
But you
ones.
right. But you
Yes, I'm
right.
right.
You
Yes,
right. So
yes,
y'all got it going. A family collaboration. Tawanza said a family collaboration. I was just about to say that y'all got it all going on between you writing and them illustrating. We're gonna be excited for a whole lot more books. So
yes. They're
let
coming.
our viewers know they're coming. That's what I wanted.
Yes,
That
they
was
are
my next
coming.
question. So let us know about some of the other adventures in La La Land, as we've been calling them in our circle, you and your daughter, the Tinas. What do the Tinas have in store for us next?
Yes, La La Land is just, I tell you. So, in other words, to me, La La Land reminds me, like I said, of how heaven is. And my daughter and I, La La Land will be in the next book, of course, The Lovable Lines and A New Friend for Agnes. And my daughter thought of the character, the new friend. I threw out the name. She said, this is what I'm going to draw. This is how I'm going to draw her. And it's perfect. I mean, her and I work together. We really do. We have a very good relationship anyway, mother and daughter relationship, but we work very well together with these books. We really do. We really do.
That's
And my son,
awesome.
not to cut you off, pardon me, has
No,
said,
you're good.
Mom, when you retire, I'll take over doing your books. He has
No,
that
you're
far up
good.
there
You're good.
mind too.
That's good. So this might become a series.
Yes,
Um,
that's what I'm
you
trying to
know.
do. Make it
Oh,
a
that's good.
series. Yes.
So
Yes.
so 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 we'll get to go and enjoy Agnes now.
Yes.
Agnes. So your burger bits, are you is Agnes a portrayal of you, or
Yes.
was that just
Agnes.
okay?
And you go
So
ahead, I'm sorry. You get
no,
me.
you're good.
Everybody makes me excited when they talk about Agnes because she's right there. She is a portrayal of me. Leona is a portrayal of a girl named Lear Jones from my neighborhood who was my best friend when we were growing up. And we still talk
Right.
a lot. She lives in Salisbury, but we still talk a lot. And Leona is Lear. And of course, Agnes comes really from me. And when you talk about family, that's how my family was when we were growing up. We were all, and we still are, concerned about one another, sitting together at the dinner table, eating, talking, all of those things. So a lot of that does come from things that happened in my life. And of course, hearing from God given ideas, wanting his ideas put in the book.
Yes, I love that. So that you give due to everyone. I just love your humble spirit and
Oh,
how
thank
as
you.
we have been on this call tonight, with it's supposed to be your spotlight, and we're trying to highlight you. And since you've started, all you have done is been gracious to everyone else. So my compliments to you, Miss Tina, to
Thank
show
you.
to show our younger audience that when you do something and you excel, that one of the best things that you can do is to give other people their flowers when they can still appreciate them,
Yes.
and not take all of the credit for yourself. It's not all about me, but especially family and stuff like this. We as a team can do way more than I as a person can. So I love how you keep talking about how your daughter did it and how you got this from your husband and how your son wants to continue on your legacy. To me, that is just beautiful, Miss Tina.
Thank
But
you.
one of the things that this has all started on is because we're here at the Brittle Family Foundation. We are trying to promote literacy to the best of our ability. We think that the best way to help the generations to come is to give them an education. And you can't really get an education today if you can't read. So if we can start them on the path
Exactly. Oh,
to reading books like this for fun, then when it comes to reading books, the big books, you won't have that many problems. Excuse me.
exactly. Yes.
Sorry. So this all came about the month of March. Um, we as the Brittle Family Foundation, to promote our literacy, we had a readathon. And in this readathon, we partnered with three schools. We partnered with West Salisbury Elementary School in Salisbury, Maryland. We
Wow.
partnered with Buckingham Elementary School in Berlin, Maryland, and we partnered with AJ Lewis Greenview Elementary School, which is in Columbia, South Carolina. So we read for the whole month of March, and between the three schools, we raised. Now I got it's 9150. It's 91,510. That's the number, and I can only remember it because so it's 91,500.
Wow. Wow.
So together between our three schools and all of our other partners who did that, we read, 91,510 minutes. Now, as an author, you know how it is to just read. So to me,
Yes.
that just like is like super exciting because most of our people who are reading, most of our kids, like I said, they were elementary school kids. And as a parent of three children who are in the elementary school age, I can't get them
Oh,
to do nothing. Um, Ever. Like so for that many students to sit down and read, it shows that reading is fun and that we can get them to have a joy and a love for reading.
yes. Yes, we can. Yes.
So just before we go, do you have anything else? We've let them know where you can get your book. We've let them know what's coming next. We've talked about what's going on, some of in La La Land, and I'm trying to let them know what's going on in La La Land, but not give them too much because I want them to go to La La Land.
It's
And
exciting.
if I tell them everything that's in La La Land, then they don't need to go. So
No,
I'm trying to wet their palate a little bit, but not just give them a little
give
bit,
them a little bit,
just a little bit.
but
Um,
keep though just a little bit. They would love La La Land. They would love La La Land. Kids would actually, when they read the book and they hear about La La Land, they would think, "Oh my gosh, Oh, I love going there. And it almost makes you feel like, as you read it, that you're in reality. Even
Yeah,
with, I was writing it, I started thinking, I'm
yeah.
in reality. Then all of a sudden it comes to you, no, you're not.
Well,
But
so
the
so
kids, but the kids will love it. The
I
adults have
did.
loved
I
it
think
that have
it's
read it. You
uh-huh.
loved it. Then you're an
Yeah.
adult. Said you love, and all the adults say, "Oh my gosh, I love it." I really do. So, then when they read the book and they get into La La Land, they're gonna want to come back. It reminds you of a read to me every night before bed story. We stopped at chapter 3. Mommy, come on. I got to get to chapter 4, 5, and keep going and going. What else is going to happen in La La Land? It just
What's
sparks your
next?
interest. I want to just want to
What's
keep
next?
reading and want to keep knowing.
Yes, and that's exactly it. What's gonna happen next in La La Land? Um, free candy. Can I go?
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
go. So
And kids love candy.
one of the what like again, always trying to give an opportunity for someone to pick up a book, to read a book. So one thing we do with our Meet the Authors is you were gracious enough to allow us to present your book, and not only did you provide books, but I don't know if everybody can see that, but she even signed and autographed the books. Come in and take an animated adventure, and that's exactly what it was. It was an animated adventure into La La Land. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to give all of our listeners, all of our viewers, a chance to drop their names, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna give your book away, because
Okay.
it's good for me to have a book, it's good for you to have a book, but the best thing you can do to a book is give it to somebody else so that they can get
Yes.
something out of it as well. So,
Absolutely.
so
Yes.
that's what we're
Yes.
gonna do. So I'm gonna ask if we have. I give them. We'll give them. What do you think? 30 seconds. We'll give them a quick 30-second countdown to give them an opportunity to drop their names into the comment
Yes.
box. Now, you can either comment on our YouTube page or you can comment on our Facebook page. And all you gotta do is just drop your name. Just let us know that you were out there and that you were listening. And when we do our drawing, we'll go ahead and we'll see who wins the free book. How about that, Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
All right. No. All right, all right. So I don't know if you can see, but we had a bunch of names. So I am so happy we had a bunch of names.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
they were coming on so fast. I know I seen at least 5, 6 names just boom, 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 boom. So
Great. Great.
that's awesome. I'm so glad that we were allowed to given the opportunity to share your work of art. Um,
Yeah. Thank you
because
so
without
much.
authors like you, um, reading enthusiasts like me would have nothing to do. So we truly appreciate you. We thank you very much for um, taking the time out of your busy schedule as an author, getting ready to write your second book. We can't
Yes.
wait to come on
Yes.
and share with us. So I'm going to put it out there now. We are going to be continuing this segment, and we're working towards it being grandiose. Um, so once you get your second book together,
Yes.
if you don't mind, we'll love to have you back so that we can meet the author
Yes.
again and find out who Agnes's new friend is, and see
You.
what and see what Burger Bits has to give. So we're putting up our information now on how you can be an author. If anyone would like to help us to be able to continue to create these programs, you can donate us. We've put that information up either by PayPal or through Cash App. You can always reach us on our Burdell Family Foundation website so that you can see what we're doing in the community and what we're doing to help with the literacy. Now, one thing before I go, because it's near and dear to my heart, because I've been working on this one for a while. I'm lying. Um, is near and dear to my heart is we have a book giveaway on April the 23rd. We are giving away not just books, but all of those three schools that we talked. Every
Yes.
student in that school, in all three schools, we will be receiving a book from the Burdell Family Foundation. Because, like I
Wonderful.
said, it's great for us to have books, but if we can give them away
Yes.
to someone else, that is truly monumental. So, on the
Yes.
23rd of April, we will be doing a joint book giveaway. We will be in three different locations at one time. Again, we'll be in Columbia, South Carolina, Berlin, Maryland, and Salisbury, Maryland, trying to give the joy of reading to our students. So right now we have our goal was 1,000 books to give away. We've gotten that goal and exceeded that goal and are trying to give away, as they said, now we're going to be giving over 2,000 books away on World Book Day. So that, like I said, it's just that's one of the reasons why we do this, so that we can share that love of reading with the
Yes.
world.
That's
So
wonderful.
again, I just want to thank you, Miss Tina, for
Oh, you're welcome.
taking the time out. And all we want to do is to remind everyone out there to keep reading because
Yes.
reading is fun.
Yes, it is. Yes.